Hi, welcome back to OTH Inside. I'm Jeff Heideck. Before we get to some discussion about Hilary Burton's Southern Gothic Productions, let's find out a little recap about what happened last night. Last night on One Tree Hill, the countdown to the wedding continued. They wanted to keep us waiting one more week, though, until we see the big day. And so there was time for lots of self-reflection last night, which is, of course, what One Tree Hill is often all about. Now, Peyton was being her usual morbid, hyper-emotional self, taping a video to play for her daughter in case she dies in childbirth. And, of course, Lucas was having none of it. He doesn't want to face that possibility. On the upside, though, it was baby shower time for Peyton, and it was a chance to see all the girls together, giving Peyton some baby gifts. And now, also last night, Skills was out on a date with Jamie's teacher, and it, of course, got crashed by one of the most annoying kids we've seen on this show. Nathan got scouted by the Clippers, so he's one step closer to pursuing his dream of playing in the NBA. And there were some nice scenes between Jamie and Uncle Lucas that sort of cement Lucas's place as his version of Uncle Keith. Now, Amy Hotz will be here to talk to Shannan Bowen, a Star News reporter, about her recent story about Hilary Burton and Southern Gothic Productions.
Hi, I'm Amy Hotz, a reporter here at the Star News. I'm with one of my colleagues, Shannan Bowen, who's our social media reporter, and she recently interviewed Kelly Tenney, Hilary Burton, and Nick Gray about the Southern Gothic vlog site. So tell us a little bit of something that you didn't put in the article. Why did they decide to write or do a vlog instead of just a regular blog that people write about? They had video involved. Why did they do that?
Well, this production company was started by Hilary Burton, star of One Tree Hill. And Kelly Tenney, who is a co-producer of the show, said, they actually had some skeptics, people who didn't believe that it was Hilary's production company. Mm-hmm. So they decided to put things on video at first. And then it just kind of grew from there. It was just a way for them to interact a little bit more and show actually the behind the scenes instead of describing using words about what they're doing.
Okay, so you get to see her up close and realize that it's her, and and it also gets it to be a little bit more personal with the fans too. And that was another thing I was going to ask you. That one of the reasons you said in your article why they decided to do the vlog was to engage the fans more, and they have a really rabid fan base. So what vlogging techniques do they use in order to make the fans feel like they're a part of the company?
Well, they do several different things. One thing they've been doing is they'll walk up to random strangers on the street. There was one lady, you can look in the blog at southerngothicproductions.blogspot.com, and there's a blog post about this woman named Linda, and it shows Hilary, and I'm not sure who's filming, but she's walking up to this woman on the beach and just, starts asking her about what her favorite films are and, what she wants to see being filmed here in Wilmington. Beyond that, they kind of take you behind the scenes of their productions where they'll set up, they'll show you actually film locations, and they'll kind of film themselves talking about their film Pedestrian that they're working on. Mm-hmm. So you kind of get a behind the scenes look at what they're doing.
Yep, so it really does engage and make them feel like they're a part of, know what's going on behind the scenes kind of thing.
Right.
So you were talking about Linda. I saw that one on there. She looked like she was being hunted down by some freak. She had no idea who Hilary Burton was and why those people were chasing her down the beach. But what is your favorite vlog entry on the Southern Gothic site?
Have you ever wanted to know when you're watching a film how they chose a location for a film or why they decided to put this in the scene? There's one blog post, I believe it's mid-March. It's titled My First Project. And Hilary Burton wrote the blog post. She and Kelly and Nick Gray, the writer of Pedestrian, take turns writing on the blog. And Hilary wrote how, she and Nick were out one night dancing and were kind of bored. And they were like, well, what are we going to shoot? And they decided to start with their first short film. And then underneath, kind of a description of a little bit about what their first short is going to be about, they have a video. And they're testing out lighting and other kinds of things at these different locations around town. I think one of them is an abandoned convenience store in Wrightsville Beach. But they're kind of giving you a look at, what locations they're thinking about putting in their short film and why. Mm-hmm. It's really interesting.
Like behind the scenes stuff, yeah. See how it all works.
Right.
And last question, you also said that from the blog program they use, they can tell how many people from each country log on every day. And, I've interviewed a ton of people on the street who are from France. I have no idea why France loves One Tree Hill so much. But can you tell us, like, why maybe the French are interested in Southern Gothics too? Like, why is France number 2 right behind the United States on their site?
Well, I'll tell you first, right after I read that article, I had a handful of people who were from France email me and tell me, thanks for writing that, and that they were, avid fans of One Tree Hill and now of Southern Gothic. And I actually asked the Southern Gothic team this question, because I noticed that France was the second highest, country in readership behind the United States, of course. And Hillary said, people in France really love the arts. They also are, big followers of One Tree Hill because One Tree Hill is distributed there. So I guess that, once they found out that Hillary and Kelly and Nick were creating this production company, they decided to, follow them and follow their work.
All right, so riding on the coattails of One Tree Hill. Mm-hmm. Not too bad.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's all the questions I have for today. You can check out Shannan's article at starnewsonline.com/WilmOnFilm.
That's all the time we have this week for OTH Inside. Come back next week. We'll talk about the wedding. We'll talk about how it was filmed at Greenfield Lake and show you some scenes from that filming. That's all coming up next week in OTH Inside.